honestly, so Shubhra and I, when we were kind of discussing this, and it can, we spent a lot of time trying to understand what we would want from Chumbak in that sense. And, in the early days of actually brainstorming this idea, uh, I think one of the biggest things that was like, we saw an opportunity and we were pretty much confident of the fact that it would do decently well, if not well enough. I think we'd at least get back our money kind of thing, right? And in one of the evenings, I think when we finally had all the designs ready and we had finished sampling stuff, I think we had to, as you said, actually figure out, okay, we've got to get into manufacturing, got to get into production. And how do we do that? So I think it took us, I think, honestly, about a conversation of 15, 20 minutes one Friday night, and literally drew out the pros and cons and said, hey, listen, what do we do? Both of us come from defense background. So it's not that, you know, our parents have loads of money for us to take from them or anything. But what we did have was the house that we were living in. What we decided that was it's okay to sell the house, take the proceeds from that, and like, let's put into this. What's the worst thing that could happen? The worst thing that could happen is that you'd be stuck with a bunch of souvenirs and accessories that you'll be gifting to friends and family for 15 years. So I think the realization was also that uh, we didn't want to have any regrets later on that we didn't try these, because at the end of the day, what we felt was, it's just money. So I think from the beginning, what we decided is that uh, money was never going to be the driving factor for us. And it was done out of passion. It was done out of, hey, listen, I think we have a problem to solve, which, India is not being represented in a fun way. So doesn't matter. Let's just, so that's what we ended up doing. We ended up selling the house. We paid off a bit of the loan that was there on it, and the rest of the money we actually put some amount into a bank, and the rest we just went out and paid our manufacturers to start production. And yeah, I think the enormity of it was realized when these actual boxes started coming to our houses, because we had no warehouses, we had nothing. So we had rooms and rooms of piles of cartons, and and that actually, say, wow, what have we done? So I think that was the first kind of inkling into saying that something is happening in that sense. The company out of Shubhra's parents' place, and the VAT officer, that time we had VAT, the VAT officer came and said, because it was registered under Shubhra's name as a sole proprietor. And he came and asked us, saying that, talking to Shubhra, saying, ma'am, that, I see a lot of women entrepreneurs launching businesses and all, but 90% of them close down within the first 6 months. So, they take their VAT registration and 90% of them close down. But I can see that you're passionate about something, and you should be able to. And there was some weird number that he said, to re-register the VAT, you'll have to do some X amount of money. And you think you can do about 3 lakhs in a year? And Shubhra looked at me and he said, listen, haven't we bought a lot more stock than just 3 lakhs? So do you think we can do it? And I looked back at her, and for a microsecond, like, a little bit of doubt, but yeah, of course we can do 3 lakhs. I think we ended up doing, I think, 35 lakhs in month one itself. Something went right, saying that, this is the way that uh, there was definitely a gap in the market which we had identified at that time. So I think the entire thought of, hey, we've sold our house, we don't have something to go back to, uh, that didn't actually bother us. We were on rent for about almost 2.5 years, I think, after that. And we bought that apartment that we were staying in, like, I think 2.5 years after.